just thinking about like my dad and the things that my dad has done, man, like I wouldn't be friends with you. I wouldn't even talk to you. Like if I wasn't related to you, just narcissistic. And
look, if I'm honest, I disliked my son Judah's mom and now her husband only because I was looking through the lens of hurt. So most people think I only have 3 kids. I have 4. What's up, everybody? It's your host, RJ, here for season 2 of Going Public. Tonight we have the one, the only world-class chef seen on D Magazine, Dallas Morning News, Culture Map Texas, ABC, Fox, NBC, many others. Chef of the Year for Texas, the one, the only, owner of Swank, Luke Rogers.
man, thank you so much for having me.
Luke, man, thank you so much for coming on, man. It's been some time. I wanted to get you on sooner, but you know how schedules work. And so, man, thank you for coming on. Tell us a little bit about yourself, world-class chef, owner of Swank. So, man, just tell us a little about yourself.
Man, well, so for me, my identity too much has been on my career. But you know what? You know who I want to be is I want to be a great follower of Jesus, a good husband, a good father, and be a good worker. And be a good steward of that as well. But, you know, in all these steps of life, God has just shown me over and over and over again that I can't choose my own identity. Yeah. My identity is in him. So who I am right this moment is who God wants me to be right this moment.
Dude, I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot. Those are just titles if we had, right? But like my favorite title is son. Right. Yeah. From him. Right.
Yeah.
And so, man, thanks so much. Let's get into how we met. Do you remember?
Yeah. Man, well, so you guys were coming out to Swank with the Bible study on Tuesday night from y'all's church.
Yeah, we had Tuesday night prayer. And a friend was like, hey, let's go check out this spot.
Dele, probably. Was it Jonalyn?
No, Dele, yeah.
Yeah? Oh, man, great people.
For sure.
Incredible people. I still talk to Dele like almost every day. He gets all my memes.
Yeah. He's good people. But yeah, so we went over there, kind of a spur of the moment. He was getting a group of people that had started doing community together. And we popped up at your spot. And then before you knew it, I think I was the least educated person to ever go through your restaurant. Like, I remember like asking you, like, what is this? What is this? What is this? And you were so like gracious to explain everything. Cause like, I was like, man, I'm scared. Like my palate is different. I don't like to like taste new things. And you brought out, oh man, I don't even remember everything, but everything was great.
Oh, thank you.
Then I think my first bill over there was higher than expected because I didn't say no to anything. But
that's how we get you.
That's exactly how you got me. But yeah, man, so we went there. It was even after hours actually. Yeah. You guys were shutting down. I think we went over there around 9. What time do y'all normally close?
Around 9:30. Yeah.
And so I remember we're outside and you guys came out, you and your wife, and man, just the hospitality of just that restaurant was just cool. Like, and we're like, man, I'm coming back. Not only because the food was great, but we had conversation with you and you guys started opening up a little bit. And so if you would kind of give us a background of how the restaurant started, and then kind of maybe like where you're at now.
Sure. So I've been a chef since, I've been in kitchen since I was 15. Okay. I started as a dishwasher, worked my way up. And so, you know, throughout my career, it's always been, I wanted to own my own restaurant. I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that. I got to travel to Italy and I worked at a 2 Michelin star restaurant there.
Oh, wow.
I worked for Jose Andrés and Minibar in Washington, DC.
Okay.
And he's a famous chef too. And then I got to travel a bunch of times. I got to experience being an executive chef at 23 years old at the Sofitel in Philadelphia. And it's like, I was not ready for that job. I actually swear the only reason that I got that job, I did work really hard between 16 and 23, culinary school, everything. I did work really hard there, but I know that I got that so I could meet my wife. Because we met there at the Sofitel. She worked in the front of house up there. Okay. And I worked there. And so for a season we worked together. Mm-hmm. And you know, obviously she fell in love with me.
Oh, she fell in love with you?
Of course.
Okay. I'll ask her.
No, she was like the hottest thing I'd ever seen. And I was like, man, we have to go out. And so I kept asking her out. This blends into Swank, by the way.
Okay.
I kept asking her out. She said no a couple times. And then like the third time she was like, fine. Like, let's go. We can have like one drink.
Yeah.
And my brother is going to come pick me up in an hour. And I was like, okay, no problem. Like, weird. We're 23, but whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So we go. And then after an hour, I was like, hey, don't you have to go? And she was like, oh, no, it's fine. And I was like, oh, so you made that up? Like, you just wanted to see? And she was like, I just wanted to see.
Yeah.
So that was cool. After that, we hung out every day ever since. Like,
really?
Like never, like, and then moved to Dallas. And, you know, I have a stepdaughter named Zoe. She's she'll be 13 this year. But when I met her, she was 3, about to be 4.
Oh, wow.
And now we've since then made Ellie as our collab. She's 5, turning in August 25th. So she'll be 5 and adorable, blend of us. And so for us to come to Dallas, I had already been here once before, working for the Hilton hotels, and they moved me around a little bit to, you know, Washington, DC, up to New York, California, all over. And then I actually I did some traveling with like Kentucky Derby, US Open, like as a guest celebrity chef, you know, a few other stuff, San Francisco 49ers, Dallas Cowboys.
Got
to do a bunch of them. And then I got to a point where I kept on sending out this like pitch for a restaurant all the time to everybody I knew, constantly, over and over again, just working whatever chef job I had. And then eventually somebody said, hey, I've got a restaurant. I'll sell it to you. Since then, that relationship has fizzled out. There's been a lot of mistruths that were in that, but we're working through that with our legal department. But for us to purchase, we purchased Beckley 1115. And this was 3 years ago. And then we turned into Swank.
Okay.
And Swank was my wife's idea. She wanted swanky. She was like, swanky, cool, to fit the restaurant, dimly lit.
Is that a word?
Swank I don't think it's actually a word.
Okay.
I think she made it up.
Probably.
But it's been coming around since then. I've seen Swank all over the place since then.
Really?
Check out this new Swank restaurant. And I was like, I'm pretty sure Jenny started that.
Yeah.
So, you know, fresh made pastas, steaks, like beautiful food, like Italian blended with American. And so, you know, we're actually working on another concept. It's a secret right now, but you know, we're working on that, and that's kind of a elevated version of Swank. So we got some stuff in the works, but
nice.
Yeah.
So when did you know, like at what age did you know, okay, I really want to do this?
Man, so working as a dishwasher was not fun. The moment that I got to be a line cook and I started seeing the food, I was like, all right, I can do this. Like I'm good at this. Like I was good at other stuff before. I grew up playing tennis. I was really good at that, or football, like, you know, like different stuff, but it was never, I didn't know that I had a marketable skill that I could turn into a way to actually make money. And so when I had the opportunity, I was actually going to do one of two things: go to Bible college. I got accepted at Moody Bible Institute in Chicago. And it's a great Christian school. I was actually leaning to becoming a pastor.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'd always been super close with my youth pastors growing up through church, and they were helping guide me into becoming a pastor, because that's what I wanted. A pastor, evangelist, something along those lines. And I've always felt a call on my life to do that, to evangelize. And so I was going to do that. And then there was a moment at 17, 18, right before, you know, you have to make a decision senior year. Where am I going? What am I doing? And it was go to Chicago, go to Moody, or go to culinary school. There's a new culinary school that had opened up in Memphis. So I went and I toured it, and I was like, man, I really like this. I think this is really cool. And so I sat down with like 3 pastors from my church, because I was like, hey, is this okay? I want to pursue this, but I want to do God's calling. I want to do whatever God called me to do, but like I can do this really well. And so they were like, hey, God's calling in your life is what it is. You don't have to be a pastor to live a life that's ministry.
That's such good advice.
Man, I wish I'd followed it better over the years. It's getting better now, but I did some stupid stuff in my early 20s, like we all do. But yeah, so then ended up going to culinary school, and the rest is history. Just I worked my butt off. It was like 90-hour weeks, like working for free. Some weeks like barely sleeping in the office at the hotel, because I was always scared I was going to get fired. Like, and I was running better costs and better quality food than everybody else around me. But I was just like, the anxiety was driving me.
How did you know you were good?
I don't know, man. There was just a point. Like, it's maybe a good analogy is like when you're running, and then you look back and you're like, wait, where's everybody else? Like, I'm so far ahead. Like, there was a point that happened. I don't think that I'm like an exceptional talent, or that I'm like better, like naturally than anybody. I do think that I can outwork almost anybody. I've worked really, really hard, and I know that there is God grace, and, you know, His grace for me, and God given talent. But man, I put in work to be able to do that. I
like that because that's kind of like just, I don't want to say an ick, but a pet peeve of mine when it comes just to the community of faith is that sometimes we don't do our job and we lean only on God. And I once heard it, I think Dave Ramsey said it this way: work like it depends all on you, but pray like it all depends on God. Right. But I think a lot of times as Christians, we don't put in our part and we're like, God, where you at?
Yeah.
Right. Because we don't want to work and put in the effort. Right. Even when you're called, I think you still got to work to do it. So, man, I know we wanted to get into some stuff that neither one of us prepared for it. When I read your script of what kind of things you wanted to talk about, it was good. Great. Don't get me wrong. It was good. But then when we started talking off air, I felt a shift. And so, man, let's get into that. We'll take a quick break, but then we'll get into the depths of where we're at currently. Welcome back, GP. So, Luke, we were talking about just how you believe that you have a call of God on your life for just the cooking industry. Pastors have signed off on it. But I want to talk about trusting God while you're in your calling, because a lot of times, like myself, I thought saying yes to God meant, okay, it's easy now. Like the hard part was saying yes, but that's not it at all. So kind of just tell me kind of where you guys are at right now, and not just where you guys are at, but where you're at right now in your life, because you said something off air that it's not easily talked about when we're in the midst of our storms and things like that. We like to talk about it when we're on the other side, but let's talk about it when we're in the middle of the storm. So if you would just tap into that.
For sure. Well, so one of the things that we've talked about is that, you want to look, camera ready. You want to be presentable. You want to look like like a leader at all times. You want to be seen and perceived a specific way. Mm-hmm. And so if I'm trying to be seen in front of all these people online or wherever and being my authentic self, I don't want you to lose respect for me. So, or pity me. That would be worse. Right. Mm-hmm. So instead, to come to a place with God and know, I don't know if you've ever watched The Chosen. Mm-hmm. In The Chosen, we were
I'll say a little bit, right? Because I'm
a little bit.
I'm the last one to.
Me too.
I haven't watched all of it, but I've watched some of it.
I think we're finishing season 1 right now. I know we're behind. But one of the episodes, Peter's wife says to him, because Peter's like nervous about Jesus seeing his mother-in-law sick and just another problem that Jesus would have to fix. Peter's wife says to him, like, hey, like he chose you. He's not going to change his mind about you. And I was like, wow. Because watching The Chosen, I was like, I'm Peter. Mm-hmm. I suck. Like I'm always trying to fix myself. I'm always trying to like outwork everybody else. Like I just said, like I'm always trying to fix it by myself. But God didn't call us to do that. And so then now in this season of, having to trust God all the time, like all the time, it's everything. It's finances. It's the family. It's my marriage. It's my children. It's everywhere. It's the church. I'm on the worship team at our church, and I stepped off the stage for a second because I was like, man, I'm so burnt out. I need a break. Because I don't want to get on the stage because I'm not going to respect it the right way. And I just didn't, there was something that needed a change and shift in me. So I got off the stage. And I kind of, was getting bullied by, our friends, like, and I mean that in a playful way, being like, come on, you got to go back. And I was like, no, I need a second. And then it just hit me one day. I was like, God called me to be on a stage and lead worship, whether I want to or not. Mm-hmm. I need to do it because no one else has the calling that I have. That is a calling specific for me. Yeah. So if I don't fulfill it, who's going to? God can find anybody. Yeah. But if I know and he told me you need to do this, then I have to do it. And you have to do it with all your might. You have to do it as well as you can. And I make mistakes. Like you close your eyes during worship and then you sing the wrong lyrics or whatever, like might catch off tune because you can't hear yourself or whatever. Yeah. But it doesn't matter because they see the heart and they feel the anointing in your worship. So that was one part that I've been struggling with lately, that now I just stepped back on stage on Sunday. And it was great. Mm-hmm. Worship was awesome. But then to see work too. And how am I going to trust God when the sales aren't what they should be? When payroll is higher than it should be? Mm-hmm. When everything breaks, the AC doesn't work and now we gotta put in a wall unit, AC, and like other things. And we're trying to give you this level experience that you're gonna like. You eat at Swank once a week, if that, because we're a little bit more elevated, and so how am I gonna give you that experience as a diner when I have to do all these extra things? It's just crazy, and just being like, God, what are you doing? Why is this happening?
I think that's it, Luke, is that sometimes I catch myself asking God that, like, God, what are you doing? Like, are you awake? Like, do you still love me? Because I don't feel you and I don't see you, right? It's so sometimes it's hard to seek his face when I can't see his hand.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And so it's like, God, you talk about AC. My AC is out right now in my house.
Oh, that's the worst.
I'm trying to get my life right because now I know what hell's going to feel like, right? So, but it's that. And then you talk about finances. I have a construction company, so I know payroll, right? And Fridays come and my subs want to get paid. And sometimes they want to get paid before the checks come in. And it's just like, how do we do this, God? Like, Lord, you're the one who called me to do this. Like, fix it. Yeah. And then sometimes it's like, I just hear silence.
Yeah.
I was like, God, like, what's up, dude? Like, what's up? Right. And I mean, if I'm honest, just like I started thinking about some of my old habits of really like, okay, taking from this project to go pay for this project and manipulating. So, and I'd be lying if I told you those thoughts didn't come in my mind. Yeah. And I'm just like, God, no, we've passed this test before. You've changed my heart, but God, I'm still in the same boat, it seems like. And I feel like a disciple right now, and you're sleeping, and the storms of life are hitting me right now, and I'm freaking out. And so, God, can you wake up? Type thing. So, like, I know you tapped into like marriage and being a father and a bonus dad and a business owner. Like, what are some of those things that you struggle with when it comes to trusting God?
Man, there's so much. One of the things that marriage is difficult in general, and my wife and I work together. So like, because we work together, we see each other all the time. Like, you never have a break. But then like when we're not with each other, it's like, hey, where are you? Like, this is weird. Cause like you grow attached, and like I don't know, maybe, I don't know it's a great thing. Cause we both are clingy enough that we're okay with being around each other a lot. But like in the last 6 months has been a really challenging season. It's getting better. But it's been a challenging season because we've been dealing with all these problems, all these things all the time. And life didn't look like what it used to look like before. When you start changing our goals, like we want to open a new restaurant. So suddenly everything changes. Like all of your finances change. And depending on how life goes in that moment, like sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. The economy went really bad this year, and nobody's spending money, so nobody's dining out as much. Like it's tough. And so for us in this industry of being a place that we, we're a place that you go when you want to spend money, and for us to be in that, and so to depend on that, we started having more arguments. We started having more issues because, oh, well, we don't do this like we used to. We don't do that like we used to. All the little lugsies, we stopped doing as much of that because we have to be careful about everything all the time. And then that, creates more arguments. Our kids go out of town for 6 weeks with grandma to the Dominican, and they had a great time. And we were supposed to do stuff, and we ended up just like working and arguing, and like, we're married. So like there was some good and bad, and so for us, like it was an eye-opening season because we're with each other. And I'm like, hey, this bothers me that you do that. And she's like, this bothers me that you do that. And I'm like, all right, okay, God, what do we do? I'm like, and then what that does is it forces you in a private room with God, being like, all right, God, change my heart. Like if I'm really wrong, or even I'm not wrong, like change me, make me into who you want me to be. Like lately I've been like, God, like make me into the person that you've called me to be. Is it you want me to be this level of restaurateur and executive and chef and like all this stuff? Like open the doors for me to get more educated, open the doors for me to do this and that. And, I want to be a great husband. I want to be a great father. Help me do that. And there's a lot of dying to self and a lot of not doing what I want to do when I want to do it. And taking what my wife says more seriously. And like, not seeing the criticisms as criticism, but seeing it as that's my helper. Yeah. God put her in my life, and marriage is a mirror. So when I'm doing something wrong, like, and she tells me, then now I have a mirror and I have to look at her and be like, wow, I need to be better about that. Maybe you don't eat as much sweets or whatever it is, you know?
You said something that reminded me of what I said when I was going through my season last year and I needed God to just show up because everything was about to just be gone, right? I remember I was in a swimming pool, one-on-one, my alone time with God, like you being forced into a room only with God, right? And I remember asking God, I need you to make me who you created me to be because I don't know where I'm at. And I feel like I don't have any identity. I know my name, but I don't know my purpose. And so I remember praying that exact same thing is, Lord, allow me to become what you've called me to be. Mm-hmm. And Luke, he did it. He just started working and he started like parting the Red Sea in my life, in my storms. And like, I started to see things in the lens of a son of God, right? Of just, how did you do that, God? And the cool thing about God is that he's such a jealous God. He won't be super clingy, but he will do things in a way where only allows us to point to him. Yeah. Right. And like, no, this was not RJ. This was not whoever. This is God and only God. Yeah. And so, yeah, man, let's take a quick break and then we'll jump back in. All right. We're back with Luke Rogers. Luke, man, let's talk about just kind of your leadership when it comes to not just being an owner, a father, a husband, all those things, but you wanted to tap into sonship. And so if you would just kind of tap into that, how you are able to identify yourself as a son compared to just all the other titles that you've held. Yeah.
So man, this is a lot to unpack. And this is one of the things that I'm still going through. Okay. That just sucks. Okay. Like, to be honest with you. So as I work through being a son, what does that look like? God has always placed amazing men in my life, like pastors, youth pastors, you know, like from growing up, that helped lead me like fathers. And, you know, even into now, not that long ago, I got really sad because just thinking about like my dad and the things that my dad has done, which my dad's still alive. He's almost 70, but man, I saw some things I should not have seen growing up. And like, you know, it's heartbreaking to have that be your biological dad is the one that you're like, man, like I wouldn't be friends with you. I wouldn't even talk to you. Like if I wasn't related to you because of like, he doesn't do anything illegal as far as I'm aware, but, just narcissistic and selfish and decisions over and over again. And a lot of like bouncing from churches because they didn't have like good friendships there because people saw through, you know, the veil, the facade. Yeah. You know, and then to still like now, like they switched into another version of Christianity and it's like, man, if you knew Jesus, then you wouldn't have lived like that. You wouldn't live like you do right now because I met Jesus. And so I'm who I am because of him. And, a couple of years ago, I remembered, man, God really put men in my life, a bunch of them that all are different parts of who God is. I've one that loves me so much like a father and son. You know, I have another one that leads me like in a disciplinary way to an extent. My current pastor now, you know, and there were some moments that he got pissed at me and I deserved it. Yeah. And he was right. I was wrong. You heard that. But you know, he showed me and all these different men throughout my life that God has put in it. And so then this year at Father's Day, I was like, wow, God didn't give me one human father that answered everything that I wanted to be answered, all of my questions. He gave me 7 that are all different attributes of God. And then to be God's son myself, back in 2018, I was at our house. We bought a house in Itasca. It's really far away. And we were showing some friends from church it, and this one lady from my church came through and we were talking and she was like, hey, like you're a son of God. You're a son and he's called you by name and you have a name in heaven. And at that moment, I swear to God, I heard a voice tell me Yoahim. And I was like, Yoahim, what is that? Mm-hmm. I Googled it a little bit later. It says, if you Google the name Yoahim, Joachim, it means son of Yahweh.
Oh, wow.
I got chills. I swear to God.
Yeah.
It means son of Yahweh. And I was like, wait, so it doesn't matter if my name in heaven is Yoahim. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that God took the time to remind me that I'm the son of Yahweh, the son of God. Yeah. Like, you love me that much. And so then now, and then it's like, I've got kids and I see them, even Zoe, like I met her when she was 3, but it's like I see she's my kid. She doesn't look like me. Like but I'm like, man, like you have way too many things that are like me. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and Ellie, to see her and then to know it's like, my parents weren't great parents.
Yeah.
And it's like, but that's how you know that God put you in a new place. My father-in-law has been a great dad. When I left the house earlier today, he was like, "Hey, do you need my debit card like to go out? He's like, you look really nice." Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow, God really put this man in my life to be one of my dads. And then, to see that, and man, this is another tough one. I don't know where you stand politically. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
What I believe is that Jesus is king, and that's it. Mm-hmm. And every decision we make falls from that. Yeah. And so for me right now, I made a video on Instagram in June talking about immigration and what's it look like to love people that are foreigners in your country, full of Bible verses. I started weeping, like reading these verses. And then my dad texts me and is like, "So are you saying that I'm a racist?" And I was like, wait, you saw that video where I'm literally you're flesh and blood, grown man, married to a woman she's from New York, but she's Dominican, with a bunch of foreigners in my family, with a church filled with Hispanics. And these are people that I love with my full heart. Like, I eat salsa that's so spicy for them. I got acid reflux. And it's like, I can't do it anymore.
I can't do it because I'm a wuss, but go ahead. Keep on.
But it's like, you're going to see me weep reading Bible verses talking about we need to love these people. And your response is defense. Your response is an attack. And I was like, man, and so earlier today, even I was like, God, just release me from the parental bond that I have with my family. Release me from, this was today. I was like, God, just release me from this. Release me from anything that's going to weigh me down. Release me from the generational curses that come from my family, from the Rogers bloodline. Release me from anything that is not from you, and give me the inheritance that you give Jesus. Give me the inheritance that comes from heaven, because that's who I want to be. And that's who I want my kids to be. And I want them to have a wealth of love and family and hope. And I mean, it'd be nice to have physical money, but it's like to have that rich legacy built on something real, filled with love and hope. And what happens is if good men say nothing, then the bad guys win. There's a better way to say that, but
right. No, I get you, man. Gosh, look, you're hitting
that was a lot.
No, you're hitting a button when it just says release you from something. I wasn't going to tap into this because it's not attractive, or it's not even, my family doesn't know about this yet, but today, so most people think I only have 3 kids. I have 4. The big 3 are with my ex-wife. We did things right. We waited till we got married and all these things. And then we got divorced or whatever. But I had another kid, Judah. And out of all of the kids, he looks the most like me, right? And today, of all days, we haven't physically seen him in almost 2 years. And just doing some battles and stuff like that. Blaming, because like when you're insecure, you like to blame, right? Yeah. As a man, we do that. And finally, the Lord just started working on me a couple of months ago of just saying, like, what's the best thing for Judah? And I felt like he was saying consistency. Yeah. Right. And so now his mom has married. And today, of all days, like you, I wrote them the letter of releasing my rights to him and Luke, I cried like a baby in the car, like just weeping, like just saying, God, like it was never supposed to be like this. Yeah. But my fear is that if I'm not willing to be unselfish, Judah will have identity issues when he turns 18. Like, where's my dad? Like, where's all these things? And the presence of a father speaks loud and clear, right? So if Judah doesn't have placement from the father's voice, he will look for things to bring him identity. And so his mom married an amazing dude. I'm a guy that does his homework on people, right? Like, I want to know who's around who, right? And so I do homework, and I have people like report back to me, and this guy is top notch. And so in the letter, I won't say his name, but I just said, thank you. Thank you for providing an atmosphere that is safe and loving for Judah. And it was his response, Luke, that not only confirmed that I did the right thing in releasing my rights as Judah's father, but I also showed one of my sisters, and she said his response alone confirms that this was the right decision. But I think sometimes we only can identify as dad and father and whatever title we're holding at that moment. We don't know how to identify ourselves in anything else. And so when you say that was heavy today, sonship was heavy today on this side from a dad's view of how do I do that? And what does that look like? And I think I'm learning to trust God in the unknown. God, I don't know what it looks like, but I'm going to trust you to make it happen. As a contractor, that's what I do for a living, right? Yeah. I have to have the blueprints. Are you telling me to build you a house? Okay, cool. What do you want it to look like? Here's a blueprint, and I can do that. But with God, he never gives us the blueprints. And it's like, how do I trust you, God? Like, we've never done this before. Like, so how do I trust you? How do I have faith in this? Like, I've never seen you work in this area of my life. Yeah. And look, if I'm honest, I disliked my son Judah's mom and now her husband only because I was looking through the lens of hurt, right? Yeah. Oh, it didn't work out. She's a piece of, you know what? Yeah. And she really isn't. Like, I'm the one that was being, ugly. I was the one that was being conniving and manipulative and stuff like that. And then I felt like the Lord was telling me, if all the people that you love Jesus, you don't love enough people. Yeah. Right. And it's like, okay, how can I show love to Judah and to the people that Judah loves if I'm not willing to demonstrate love? Yeah. And sometimes it's not releasing myself from love. I'm always going to love that kid, right? And I'm always going to check up on him, but it's releasing myself from the selfishness of RJ. Says, okay, I got to have him close by me when it's only benefiting RJ. And so, yeah, man, I didn't expect to share that.
Man,
you heard it before my family did, right? Wow. And so, jeez, right off the oven, right? Yeah. But man, I want to kind of get into a little bit of how you handle that, like when you guys are on the brink of shutting down, and that's not fun to tell people, right? And it's a lot of times our closest friends are the ones who know the least about our struggles. They know about our highlights for sure, right? We go to parties, we can go to trips and vacay and all those things, and all of our close friends will know about that. But it's like we tend to, as men, suffer in silence because we don't feel like we can trust the stage in which our friends are in that circle of letting people know, man, I'm struggling right now. Yeah. And you said something off air. It's easier for us to tell people about our struggle after we get on the other side. But how do you deal with it? Like right now, like you guys are on the brink. How do you do it?
Man, it's tough. Trying to work through everything. So it starts at a certain point. It started, earlier this year, and every year since we bought this restaurant, we bought it. There was no sales. We actually quadrupled the sales 4 times, like insane. That building has never seen this much sales ever. Yeah. Most chefs that have been in that specific building lasted, a year, maybe 2 years at best. Some of them even months. A really famous chef in Dallas, I won't say his name, had his restaurant in the same location for like 4 months, and they shut down because it's just not a good location. But to deal with that, and we walked around the restaurant when there was nights there was no sales, nobody walking in the door, praying being like, God, if you wanted us to be here, you need to provide these sales. If you wanted us to be here, like everybody's got to get paid. My bills have to get paid still. Like, God, when are you going to show up? And then God shows up when he wants to, and never let us win. I've never missed a meal. Like neither have my kids or my wife, nobody, we've never gone without electricity. Like we've never gone without anything. Like God's always found a way to keep everything on all the time. And that trust in him. And there was a point like before having this restaurant that I believe back and forth on like tithing, because there's arguments, and we don't have to get into it, but it's like about like how biblical is tithing? Like, do you have to get into
whatever?
That?
Yeah. Like, but I'm politically incorrect. So go ahead. Like I loved you. Well, tell your story.
Well, I would go back and forth on like, do I need to tithe? Do I not? And so I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to trust God. I'm going to start tithing. And so then I always did tithe. And then I got to a point where I was like, I want to tithe so much money. Like, and then I realized at the end of this, of months of tithing as much as I possibly could, like painful. I was like, I'm trying to buy God's love. I want you to bless me so much that I'm going to hurt myself and maybe hurt my business. I don't know. I look back and I'm like, God, were you faithful because I was faithful and I was tithing, and you just were covering all the bills and provided this because I was giving you this? Or were you being faithful no matter what? And I was the one that was up and down. And then, now it's like, I've got a normal tithe again, but like, because God didn't want me to buy his love. He didn't want me to buy my sonship. He didn't want me to give everything I possibly could so that I could be accepted.
Yeah.
Instead, he just wants me to be faithful. And so in this time of like arguing over, do we want to keep this? Do we want to keep putting money into this? Do we want to, keep running? And then like landlords and all this stuff. And it's tough. And we argue, and we're like, we're going on TV and talking about the restaurant and having great experiences for guests. And then because we're seeing so many guests, suddenly we're giving bad experiences. And it's like, what do we do?
I feel you. Gosh, man. I feel you.
It's tough to walk through. But now like we got to a point where we're like, all right, this is coming to an end. We don't know the date. We still don't know the date. We know it's coming to an end. What's next? And so I started applying to jobs, and it's like, nobody wants to hire me because it sounds so douchey, but I genuinely mean it. Like my resume is too good. Right. Like nobody knows I'm going to stick.
Qualified, right?
I'm overqualified. Nobody's going to keep me as an executive chef somewhere.
Yeah.
Like I would have to find some super high job, and I started interviewing for some really big jobs that would have paid really good. But that's not for me. That's not what God called me to do. Because God wants me to have my place where I can provide well for my family, and I have a vision. And I was like, God, you gave me all of this. You put it in my heart, all the plans that you have for me. I already know what you want me to do. And so I have this broad vision of what needs to happen. And so then, our business partner now, he dined at the restaurant all the time. He walked into the restaurant on a night we were really sad. And he just sat down at the bar, and me and my wife were like, man, well, wait, let me say this again. My wife was like, what are we going to do about this problem, these bills, this situation? What's happening next? And I was like, I don't know, babe, let's just trust God. Let's pray. And we just like, did a quick prayer. Like, God, like I told her, I was like, my Father is going to provide something. My Father in heaven. And an hour, not even later, Brent walks in the door, sits down, and I was like, man, we were just talking about you. And we started talking to him. His dad owns a construction company, and I think he's purchasing it or part of it. I'm not really sure. I never asked him. But basically now we're partnering with the construction company to open another restaurant that's bigger and better and beautiful. And that's the meeting I just came from, that we're talking about this new thing. We've been working on it for a couple months, and it's just, this is going to be incredible, and it's going to be the start to something amazing. But at the center of that has to remain the same heart of trusting God no matter what. And we at church on Sunday, it was Psalm 34, verse 4, that I sought the Lord, and he heard and he answered.
Yeah.
And it's just, that has to be our prayer.
That bridge of that song breaks me every time, right? Because I think I'm thankful, and I understand what Paul meant by 3 times have I contended for you to remove this thorn in my flesh, and he wouldn't. I think it's a reminder that the Lord doesn't want us to forget what he's brought us out of. And so like anytime that song comes on, like my hands instantly go up because like I remember calling on the Lord, but I also remember when he answered, right? And that right there, like will make you sing from the belly of a well, right? Of just all those hymns that I ever grew up in, right? This is my story. This is my song, praising the Lord all day long. Yeah. Those begin to like come out of my mouth when the Lord answered, right? And but I'm with you. I went through a season of life was really, really good, Luke. Really, really good. And I was getting known as, man, RJ is very, very generous, right? And those are good seasons, right? Like everybody likes it on their resume. But then I'm in this season somewhat now and kind of climbing out of it of RJ ain't that generous anymore. Like, hey, RJ might owe us a little bit of cash, right? And just like trying to navigate that. But like you said, having that same heart and that posture of like, God, I'm going to trust you. I'm not going to stop tithing because I know that works. That's the blueprint. I know that works. But like, God, I'm trying to navigate this right now. And I feel like I've been here again, but I like that season before where people were, man, RJ's generous. He's loving, he's kind. And now it's like, he's not as generous, right? And he's kind of like a penny pincher and stuff like that. But that's hard. And something the Lord has shown me during the season is that if my best couldn't win God's love, my worst can't lose it type stuff, right? And Pastor Travis Green, he came to our church a couple of weeks ago, and he wrote the song, You Made a Way, right? And he talks about when he wrote it, and he didn't write the song after the storm. He wrote it during it, when he says he was really up against the wall, and he didn't know what to do, and he began to pray, and God made a way. And so anytime I hear that song, I'm instantly reminded of if his word is our sword, right? Worship has got to be the way that we swing it. Yeah. Right. And, wow. Right. And so like, can I go into the Psalm 34 and trust God even before he answers me? Do I have enough faith in God to call out to him first before I start making things happen? Right. And so I think that's a season where I would just challenge not just you, but myself right now is like, we know that we know you grew up in church. I grew up in church. I've seen the miracles of God. I've seen his faithfulness. And sometimes I think we got to go into the vaults of our testimony and pull out what he did for us at age 13, what he did for us at age 22 or stuff like that. And just saying, God, I remember you have the capacity to do this. Yeah. And if he is a God who said it, he's a God that will do it again. A friend of mine, Jeffrey, says, the God who did still does. And I believe that for your life. I believe that for your next venue. I know we can't say a lot of things, but the next season of y'all's life, I just declare and believe that it's going to be great. Yeah, I think it's going to be better than ever before. It's not going to be a season of struggle, but it's going to be a season of we're on the other side type stuff. But man, Luke, I appreciate you. Let's take a break and then we're going to jump into our next segment. Tea time. All right, GP fam, it's time for one of y'all's favorite segments, Tea Time. This is where you guys have submitted questions and Luke and I will answer. You have no idea what I'm going to ask you, and I have no idea what you're going to ask me, but it's rapid fire.
All right. Has there ever been a moment where you almost gave up, and what pulled you back?
Yeah, absolutely. Finances. Like not being able to pay stuff, right? Like if we're being honest about when we launched this pod, it came from my account, right? And so when financial crisis hit, I mean, that was one of the first things. Like, okay, God, like, I think you called me to do this, but I don't see the evidence of it right now. So yeah, I almost gave up. Wow. Yeah, but then the Lord is gracious and confirms his word through not only his word, but also through people. All right, here we go. What does generational change mean to you, and how are you living that out?
Wow. All right. So for me personally, from my parents' generation, we were already discussing this. From my parents' generation to me now, it's loving God with all of my heart and being authentic in church, loving my wife, loving my kids, stewarding my job well, stewarding everything that God's given me well, and choosing other people before me, because that's not something that happened in the generation before me.
Wow. That's so good. Okay.
All right. What's a small thing that you do that instantly makes you feel more confident?
Gosh. Know that I'm a single dude, so I'm giving away all my secret sauce. But every morning, I don't know if y'all ever watched Cool Runnings growing up. There's a guy on there that he looks in the mirror and he like pumps himself. So I don't do like my flexing, but I really like, I think my smile is good. And so I go into my bathroom mirror and I smile and I say these 3 things over myself. What I tell my kids, you're strong, you're smart, you're loved. Yeah. And that's like gives me confidence for the day. So
I thought you were going to do that rap song though. I'm like, and I'm healthy and I'm wealthy. And you know what I'm talking about?
No, because I'm not healthy. All right. Gosh, no wonder I'm single. Okay. How do you keep your identity rooted in Christ while working in such a high pressured industry?
Man,
that's an amazing question.
That is a great question. I've always wanted to do more for what God wanted me to do, or had more fear of God, respect for God, than to do the things that other people around me were doing. When I was working all these restaurants, and the amount of waitresses that, you know, are essentially offering themselves on a silver platter, or drugs or alcoholism or anything. Your values and your belief in God has to be higher than any temptation that comes. And that has been so tough, but that's one of the things we talked about where you said you looked back and you see God's faithfulness.
Yeah.
And I look back and I can say like, wow, God, you took me out of that and out of that and out of that and out of that. And there's a flesh side to that it's like, you have to overcome it. But man, it's been tough, but it's getting easier.
Yeah.
It's getting easier though.
Shout out to whoever submitted that question.
Yo, for real. That was good.
Yeah. All right, go for it.
Is that my wife?
No, it's not your wife.
All right. What's something that people assume about you? What's something that people assume about your journey that isn't true?
What do people assume
about your journey that's not true?
That I was an overnight success when it comes to like my finances and stuff like that, because I faked it so much, people do think that it was an overnight success. But man, it's just the grind and the faithfulness of the Lord. Like, first he had to kill my spirit of greed. Yeah. He had to still kill my spirit of just like manipulation and robbing people. And now it's like, okay, all right, RJ is no longer that guy. And so now I do believe that I'm a good steward of what he's given me. But a lot of people be like, oh, dang, like that happened like that. No, it didn't. I promise you it didn't. So, okay. All right. How do you balance excellence in your craft without idolizing the spotlight or success?
Wow. There was a time that I just really wanted to be famous, like so badly, because I thought that if I was famous, that I would be rich, that I would have whatever I wanted, Yeah. I thought there was going to be something fulfilled and a question that got answered. But because I'm well aware I'm not like super famous, but like I got enough that I was enough that I was like, wow, there's nothing here. There's nothing here for me. It doesn't matter. And the only reason why I keep, pumping my name or anything like that in our business with our current next concept, I literally told everybody, I don't want this to be about me. Don't make it about me. Don't put my name on it. Nothing like that. And then what ended up happening is everybody else was like, hey, your name has to be on this. And I was like, all right, well, I'm not choosing it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want that. That's not where my identity is going to be forever anymore. Like, I don't want that. Like, don't put your hope in that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right. What song gets you hyped every time?
Christian or non-Christian?
Oh, hey, it didn't say.
Oh man. 50 Cent, The Club. Yeah. Yeah. I won't sing it, but yeah. In the car, you have no idea what's going to be played but if we're taking a road trip, that's one of the songs that will come on.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. One more each. What's a boundary you've had to set to protect your walk with God and your peace?
Man. I'm so bad at protecting my peace and my boundaries. Like that's something my wife actually was telling me recently, was like, hey, you do not protect your time outside of work. You don't protect your time with anything. Like, you basically just give up whatever, like, and it could be just a repairman coming to the house on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Like, and that's actually something that I need to work on better. Is creating those boundaries and protecting that peace.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Last question.
All right. How do you lead differently in your home than you lead in your workplace?
That's a really good question. I think in my home, it's not always easy to demonstrate love to our most loved people, if that makes sense. They sometimes see the ugly, they see the raw, RJ. And so I think I'm learning now through mistakes, really, that my household is my first ministry, right? And I don't have to be perfect. I just need to be present. Yeah. And I have to make sure that I affirm and not just correct. And so, because as a GC, right, like, people pay us good money to produce a perfect project. And so it's almost like a performance-driven industry. And when I get home, my family doesn't want performance. They want the unbuttoned dad walking around in just his boxers or whatever type dude. Like, they just want him to be present and not so much proper. They just want the present, raw love. And that is the way that I differentiate that type of that love. So
I've actually been learning that this year too.
Yeah.
There's a song from Casting Crowns from years ago. I don't know if you've ever heard it, but it talks about all work, no play makes Jack a dull boy, but all work, no God leaves Jack with a lost soul. Wow. At the end, there's a bridge where it's a little boy essentially saying, all I really wanted was you. And I was like, man, weeping, singing that, being like, man, that's all they really wanted. I'm learning that this year too.
Send me that song. I'm a big Casting Crowns fan. I've never heard of that one, but yeah, man, GP, thank y'all so much for those questions. I think tonight's were some of my favorite, but remember, continue to submit those in. We love getting them, and can't wait to get the next ones. What's up, fam? Tonight, we're launching a new segment called What the Heck? This is where we are going to be reading some gibberish, swanky words and trying to come up with what we're trying to say. So let's get ready. Luke, you ready for this one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Swanky gibberish, is that what we're calling it?
Man, I'm going to be so bad at this.
Okay. All right. So because you are a world-class chef, my words to you are going to be chef type words. Your words to me are going to be more like a contractor, general contractor type words.
Okay.
You ready?
All right, let's do it.
Foundation. 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 Okay, foundation. Okay.
All right.
Go.
All right. A car mile lies da nuns. Car mile lies da nuns. Caramelization?
Nope.
No. Carmile lies done.
I know it.
Caramelized onions.
There you go. Good job,
man.
That's crazy. Okay,
that was tough.
All right. Show the camera a little bit. All right.
Okay. You see?
Blue pew rent. Blueprint.
Yeah, that was easy.
That's easy. Well, I'm smart. So no, I'm just kidding.
All right. Is it Westcombe Teal Smooth? Westcombe.
What?
Westcombe Teal Smooth.
Say it louder.
So it's Westcombe Teal Smooth. Westcombe Teal Smooth. No idea.
I don't either.
Westcomb Steel Smooth.
Say it fast.
Westcomb Steel Smooth. Westcomb Steel Smooth. Westcomb Whisk until smooth.
There, like wisp until smooth.
Oh,
Okay.
wow,
Come
man,
on.
that was rough.
World class chef. Okay. All right. Is that back? Bach? Bach? Batch fill ink.
Is that what that is?
Oh, well, I don't know.
No, it's not it. That's not it.
No, but batch fill ink. 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 Batch fill ink?
It's really close. You're really close because I read the answer.
Batch fill ink. Batch fill ink. Audience, help me show the audience it. Batch fill ink. Batch fill ink. Batch fill ink. Batch fill ink.
I think it's not the ch sound. I think you can lose that. I think it's just back.
Backfill. Ling. Backfilling.
Yeah, backfilling. Yeah, I read it.
Backfilling. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm reading ink.
Man. Yeah, no.
All right, your turn. Ready?
Yeah, we were never going to get that.
Oh, you ain't going to get this one.
Saute saute over heat.
That's crazy, dude. Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Chain jaw deer. Chain jaw deer. Chain jaw deer. What? Chain jaw deer. Chain jaw deer.
I have no idea.
Chain jaw deer. Chain jaw deer. Change order.
Oh,
Maybe change order.
Change order.
Okay. Yes.
Oh,
Change
man.
order.
All right.
I don't know how I got that. Okay.
Garnish the plate. Garnish the plate? Garnish the plate? Garnish the plate?
I don't know if that's a term.
Well, garnish is like garnishing.
Oh.
Like garnish. So garnish the plate?
Okay. Garnish the plate. Okay. You got it. Oh, the answer's on the back.
Yeah. That's how I had
I
the
did
other
not
one.
know this. Okay. New segment. Go ahead.
I think because we remember I messed up one. Do you want to do this one still?
Building. Yeah. That's building engineer. Okay. I got that one. I got that one. Yeah.
I finished.
Okay. You got this is the last one. Go for it.
Food processor.
I know. I heard
Food
it.
processor?
Yeah, that's it.
Food processor?
All right, good job.
Man, that was tough.
I love that game. Once again, I love that game. I don't know if I won, but I'm going to claim the victory.
I think you won, yeah.
I won, okay. GP fam. I love that game, and it's called What the Heck. All right, thanks again for tuning into this segment of What the Heck. All right, Luke. All right, GP, it's time for my favorite segment, Mic Flip. This is where the guest becomes the host, and I, the host, becomes a guest. So, Luke, welcome to Go in Public. You are now the host. This is where you get to ask me 2 questions. Nothing is off limits, and so it's my turn to go public.
Wow. All right. So welcome, GP fam, to my new podcast. My name is Luke Rogers.
What? Sound like Mr. Rogers, but go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'll take off my sweater and get ready. All right. So I've got 2 questions for you, RJ.
Okay.
All right. So the first one, man, I chose heavy hitters.
Go ahead.
All right. So the first one is, how have you navigated life? Because I know you've been through a lot, divorce and kids and your story. How have you navigated your faith through all of this time, step by step, and instead of looking away from God, looked to God?
Man, that's a good question. It's really that relationship. It's, I've been through a lot, but I've also been through a lot with God. And so in that, my routine daily, sometimes God and I are on cloud 9, sometimes we're in the valley. And the navigation part of that is I refuse to allow him to leave. And I'm sure he has every reason to. I've given him many reasons to leave me and be like, I'm done with this cat. But I just refuse to do life without him. And my prayer in secret that I rarely tell people is that I'm asking God to make me a man of integrity in every area of my life. And I want to live a life that's impossible to live without him. And so navigating that looks like I'm holding on to his garment every single moment of my life, because some of the valleys that the Lord allows me to go into, or sometimes I put myself in, I only ask for him to get me out, because he's the only one who can. So that's what that looks like.
Another one is, have you ever considered ministry as a vocation?
Yeah. So that is a question that some of my new friends don't know. I was a youth pastor when I was younger. And the Lord, I share this a lot, and it's not funny, but it's really the truth of how I can describe it is I was youth pastoring before I truly fell in love with Jesus. Wow. Right. Because I think sometimes it was trendy. It was cool. I was in love with the worship leader, all these things. And I did it. And the Lord, he did bless it. Like, I remember I accepted a vocational spot. We had this is wild. We had one student in the youth ministry. I'm a big head. I had all these other churches asking me to come on full time, but I had this one small church relational friendship. They called us. We go over there, and I'm like, okay, what does a youth group look like? Diversity? Do we have at-risk kids? Do we have like this culture change? And they said, we got one student, and he's homeschooled, and he's a little bit socially awkward. And we said yes to that. And that grew to, I don't know, about a couple of hundred people. Wow. And then it expanded to, we had close to 1,000 youth in a small town, and got to do that, got to travel. But my character and my integrity didn't allow me to stay in that place. And so now, that's almost 14 years ago. Now I ran away from God for 14 years as far as like ministry and stuff like that. And now it's like, I'm starting to accept the invitations to come back, as far as not so much pastoral stuff, but really talking to men, talking to young adults, talking to just people in general of how do we overcome some of our hurts, and do that on a platform that doesn't so much look like a pulpit. But yeah, so hopefully that answers, because I believe this is our ministry, and it looks a lot different than what it used to when I was 21 years old, but yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. So,
man, I got one more question for you.
Go for it.
Last one.
Yeah, go for it.
So if you could play professional sports.
Soccer.
Oh man. All right.
So, yeah, I was really, really close. My dad better not be watching this, because he gets mad. So we trained my entire life for this moment to make it in soccer. And we joke now because my dad's a believer now, but he wasn't when I made the decision. So I fell in love with Jesus, and I fell in love with a girl. And at the same time, I tell my dad, I don't want to go to Argentina anymore. And so a lot of people don't know that part of my life is my dad, if anyone ever gets to meet him, within an hour or two, he will bring up the story. We had contract in hand 2 weeks from RJ going to Argentina, and he lays it on me. Hey, Dad, I'm in love with Jesus in this girl, and I'm not going to Argentina. And so it's like, ooh, right? And so, yeah, so professional athlete, I would choose soccer in a heartbeat.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
So I'm going to leave this last question for you. It is becoming my trademark question to just friends. It's when it comes to relationships, I want you to place these 4 things in order for you. Yours is going to be different than mine. But when it comes to relationships, how do you value love, loyalty, peace, and happiness? Love, loyalty, peace, and happiness.
Now, I'm 33.
Okay.
At 33, loyalty.
Loyalty.
If you asked me 2 years ago, I would have said love.
Okay.
Loyalty, love, peace, and then happiness.
Explain a little bit. You have 2 minutes. Go for it.
So loyalty from, like, it doesn't matter how you feel.
Okay.
You are always going to be the exact same, consistent. Like, I know, like with my wife, for instance, is a perfect example. Like, my wife is my wife. Mm-hmm. There's nobody else's wife. I don't have to worry about nothing with her. Nobody's calling her. Nobody's texting her. I don't have to worry about nothing about, like, not because she's not beautiful and not worth it. Yeah. Because, like, I've seen it. She gets hit on. But, like, she chooses me. Yeah. And that's loyalty. Mm. Even when I suck, she chose me. And so loyalty is huge. And so, that the same thing, reciprocating that back. Love is just, we all need to feel loved. We all need to feel wanted and needed. And so love is a big one for me as well. Peace is so important, because without peace, like nothing else is going to really flow.
Yeah.
But peace comes from having loyalty and love. I think that's a third step. And then happiness is actually the last one, because happiness ebbs and flows.
Right.
It's not all the time.
Yeah.
You're not going to always be happy, but I will know, even if I'm not happy today, that my people that love me, my wife, anybody else, is loyal to me, that they love me, and that, we do have peace together.
Man, I started this question about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, and I was just kind of reminded of it this last weekend. And the reason I asked that question is because I love the first answer. The first answer tells me a lot about maybe hurts. And so for you, if you pick loyalty, I would bet everything that you went through a season when people weren't loyal to you.
Yeah.
And so for me, mine is peace. Wow. Because I will never forget the price I paid for it. And so talking to one who I call my twin, he was in town this weekend. His looks a lot different than mine, because he went through some stuff maybe you went through, like loyalty stuff. There's some that will choose happiness first, right? And it's just all these things. But I love to ask that question, because it kind of gives me some kind of room to say, okay, this is what he's kind of dealt with. And so, man, thank you for just being so vulnerable and answering that. But hey, guys, thank y'all so much for watching tonight. With our episode with Luke Rogers. Go follow him at Chef Luke Rogers on Instagram. I promise you, after looking up his stuff, you are going to go want to eat at Swank's. And dude, I look at your pictures sometimes and I just I'm fat, right? And so I look and I'm just staring and I want to just bite my phone screen. But man, Luke, thank you so much for coming on. GP fam, like I said, do us a favor, go follow him, do what you guys do. But then remember, if you like this episode, go like it, share it, comment on it, and then most importantly, go subscribe to us. Hey, we thank you. We love you. Can't wait to see you next Thursday. Later.